Hi there guys, Sam here. You joined me with a MK8.5 Facelift Golf GTI Clubsport. I'm just absolutely blown away to sort of see this car. This is in ice blue metallic. We're going to go for a bit of an owner chat today. So got the owner here with me now. We're going to sit in the car, talk about his first initial ownership of the car. I've met up with this owner back in 2021 actually, and I drove his Mark 7.5 Facelift GTI TCR. But this is the first time I've seen a Clubsport in person. I am driving the car later this week with Volkswagen, so subscribe for that. But let's just go for a quick little walk around, talk about some of this amazing car, have a sit in the car, have a good chat with the owner, and yeah, take things from there. But I mean, I'm already sort of like absolutely, this is my reaction is just like, I can't get over the paint. And yeah, let me just show you it here. I mean, so this is the first one that I've kind of seen. This is in ice blue metallic. This has a 19-inch black, I can't even think, Estral wheels, red GTI calipers, larger disc brakes, decals on the side, gloss black down here, which wasn't as part of the Mark 8, that's on the facelift. You've got the black pack, so this is the black pack all the way across, so you don't get the red bar, GTI badge, ice blue metallic. Will it do it justice on camera? No. It looks so much better in person and it looks good on camera. Black door mirrors. This car is equipped with dynamic chassis control as well, so it's pretty well equipped. You get the new front end, which is the main part of the GTI Clubsport. Gloss black. I call them like boomerangs on the side. Got my Golf R there as well. Looking absolutely unbelievable. Like, I can't believe it. And actually, I also can't believe I met up with the owner back in 2021. I'm filming this very late October 2024. So it's good to see them again, actually. And I'm really intrigued to know what they think. And they had that GTI TCR from new for 5 years. So it's going to take something good to get him out of that. And this is what's happened. Excuse any wind noise. It is very, very windy. You get the GTI badge on the door. The paint looks amazing, and I just hope it comes up in camera. Tinted rear windows as well. What tyres does it come on? So it's Bridgestone Potenzas. I wonder if they're like the latest generation Bridgestone Potenzas. 500S, 235 section, R35 19. The one thing that I found quite interesting actually is that in Germany and other regions you can spec like track orientated tyres, which a car like this and the likes of the R Black Edition, basically it's like, I wished you could get it in the UK, but I spoke to VW UK press team actually, and they said it's not available in the UK, but they're not ruling it out. So it's one of those kind of things. But I think a car like this can handle that kind of tyres. And yeah, we'll chat about that a little bit more. But yeah, here's the car. And then at the rear, you get the IQ headlights. And we were saying the diffuser as well, all gloss black, a little bit around the side, twin exhaust pipes, that colour. I mean, check that out. And it's not raining either. We were worried it was going to absolutely chuck it down. Spoiler, which comes as standard with the Clubsport, so it's not like an extra or anything like that. That's what you get. And yeah, here's the car. And I'm glad I've actually had the opportunity to just sort of see it and take some time with it before I drive it later. So yeah, check that out on a future video. But I think, I mean, I don't even know what more to say. It looks stunning. It is stunning. We'll have a little look inside. I mean, the paintwork is what it's all about. But yeah, Clubsport, owner's got his cleaning gear. I've always said that the 8.5, they've upped the quality sort of inside here. GTI steering wheel, Clubsport seats, so you don't get sort of like the tartan like the GTI. 8.5 dash, that's the date we're filming this on, the 28th. Yeah, you'll probably see this sort of later, probably on 31st of October. I'll put this one out. Oh, I like the little bear. Oh, awesome, very, very awesome. But I'm really, really keen to have an owner chat, because that's what my channel is a lot about. It's a lot about the community, and that's, you know, people get involved in the comments. These are very early cars, and you check out previous videos on my channel on like the GTIs and the CSs and the Black Editions. They're great. Let's have a chat with the owner and we'll take things from there. But yeah, let's step in and go for this. Right, so we are in the 8.5 facelift. Yeah, great to see you again. We've already been talking before this for a bit of an owner chat. So yeah, I'm just looking at this car, man. It looks absolutely stunning. And as I kind of said on camera, we were here 3 years ago.
Yeah, I can't believe it was 2021. Yeah, it's flown by.
It's amazing, and actually, it's people like yourself, and it's I'm so grateful because we probably met up when I had maybe about 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
maybe.
something like that, I think.
So it wasn't too many, and I was in a phase of really obsessed with that TCR. And after we met up and went for a drive literally around here, I then drove like a TCR performance pack, which I loved as well. And I believe you loved the TCR too. You had it for 5 years.
I did have it 5 years, longest I've ever had a car. Yeah, because I remember you reaching out, weren't you, saying if anyone had one. I was like, oh, I've got one.
Yeah,
come and have a go.
Exactly, and that was great to kind of try. And I absolutely loved that car too, and I knew it'd take something special potentially for you to make that decision. Particularly, I'm similar. I've had mine for 7 years. I like that kind of long-term ownership kind of prospect on cars, and yeah, you've taken the plunge. So how's it all come about? What's kind of happened, and how are you finding it sort of early days?
So I wasn't really looking for one as such. I'd been watched the launch videos and seen the press reports of the 8.5. And I bought my TCR and this one from my brother-in-law who works for VW. And I was actually more interested in the Golf R Black.
Yeah.
Because I thought that looked really good, all stealthed out and all mean. But actually, I'm not sure if I like the blue so much inside as the red. So I was like, oh, I'm not sure on that.
Okay, that's interesting.
And then he put a little picture up on Instagram of this coming off the trailer. So I went down 2 days later when it popped into the showroom and had a look and just thought it looked amazing. The colour, the whole look of it.
It looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? And I thought it looked good on camera, and I think it does. You have to see it in person, literally.
It's not a colour you would pick from the configurator. You'd go King's Red or grey probably. But yeah, when you see it for real, the colour just...
I'm still sort of taking it in because it's the first time I've seen a Clubsport. And there's bits of it that almost looks, at points, I was like, oh, it's just like a matte sort of colour, sort of on the front sort of arch. And hopefully some bits of the walk around sort of shows it.
Yeah.
So this was sort of already sort of essentially pre-spec.
Yeah, really, it was pre-spec that the dealer had in the showroom. Harry that bought it from didn't even know it was coming. He said it just turned up on the lorry and there it was.
Surprised with a Clubsport.
Yeah, because they were amazed. They got one obviously before the press drives and all of that.
You got a really early one, really really early one. So yeah, well done on that.
Yeah, let's hope there's no issues that they've ironed out.
That
they fix later on.
Well, I mean, what I'll do actually as well for people who are really into GTIs and VWs and stuff, because we're passionate enthusiasts, and I've been sharing content for a while. I'll leave some of the videos that we did a couple of years ago, because just in the description for people who want to binge on it, because we chatted a little bit about the Mark 8 as well, and why you didn't want to go for that car really over your TCR. Mixture of the infotainment. This has, as I'll briefly move the camera, this has the new infotainment, the 8.5, and actually I mean, you're the owner as well, I think some of the touch and feel is a little bit better in here, and just plenty of other little touches. And now you've gone for sort of you sort of taken the steps in. You're sitting in your brand new car.
It sounds bizarre because it's only a subtle facelift. I just think the tweaks to the lights and the front bumpers and the back, and just painting it all in gloss black just makes it look so much nicer.
I think so. I think it looks absolutely amazing. So did you have plans to move away from your TCR, or was it just you saw this car, you sort of felt it was the right time? 5 years is a good ownership.
It's a long time for me. The shortest I've owned a car is owned a Peugeot for 2 months.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I'm always just looking and seeing what's around, but never too seriously.
If you watch my channel, I'm always checking as well. Yeah.
And then, I suppose the fact that Harry works there a little bit and just seeing it in the flesh just made me think, wow, it looks amazing. And it's funny because I was looking around in the showroom when I went back to have another look at it, and this lady had walked in and she was kind of looking, and I was like, get away.
Yeah, someone else goes to take it. Yeah, this is, I would have been extremely tempted.
Like, this looks. Yeah, I'm sort of speechless. I'll probably have to let you you speak more. So this car essentially same power as a Mark 8,
Yeah,
so
same power.
300 PS, 7-speed DSG.
Yeah.
This car options that you've gone for. So
all it has is the paint. It's got the black pack at the front where you get slightly darker headlights.
Yeah.
You get the red removed, which they charge you for. Very nice.
Yeah.
And you get gloss black mirrors, but I think it works with the blue.
Yeah,
It looks better, and the 19-inch
19-inch
wheels.
Estra wheels as well. Has this got dynamic chassis control?
No.
Hasn't got DCC. Okay, ignore what I said at the start then. I thought this had DCC. So actually, the first question I'm going to say, is it more or less comfortable than your TCR?
I think it's about same as.
Okay.
I have to be honest. I know that most people on YouTube and videos, they always love a bit of DCC and adaptive chassis. To be fair, I don't think I've ever driven one with, so it's hard for me to compare.
Yeah.
But I found the TCR suspension fine, and this one is pretty similar. There's a couple of roads where it's a little bit bumpy, but the only car I've really found uncomfortable was I had a Corsa SRI in 2009. That was hard.
And it's a good point about the DCC, and I'm fortunate enough to have driven a lot of cars with and without DCC. My Golf R, for example, I've not had DCC, my Mark 7. I've had that for 7 years, and it's fine for my tolerance. I've driven plenty of cars on passive and plenty of cars on DCC. Going back to 2021, when I drove your car, for me, it was on the borderline of being quite firm.
You'd probably find this hard.
Yeah, and yours was on the 18-inch, those really gorgeous Belvedere wheels.
Yeah.
And when I drove the week after, I drove the car on the 19-inch, the TCR with the performance pack that had DCC, and it was a lot more comfortable, even with the bigger wheels. I think a Clubsport out of the box and the likes of the TCR, it's going to be firmer. Like, it's going to be firmer than a normal GTI, whatever you go for, DCC or not. If you are really on the air, because it's subjective at the end of the day.
And it might be, if I drove a car with DCC, I might then be like, oh, I really need to have DCC, but I suppose you don't miss what you've never had.
Yeah.
So I've never driven one with it, so I don't know what it's like.
Oh, exactly. And actually, even on mine, I don't really feel the need for DCC, but then mine's an R, so potentially not as firm. What else? So I suppose, I mean, your very early days on it was, just how have you found your initial, what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think it has been about 3 weeks. Got about 210 miles, so it's still in the running in phase. So I haven't pushed it yet. The infotainment system's been the biggest thing in terms of getting used to it.
Yep. From the 7.5, I guess that is as well,
because everything's buried in menus. But I have to say, my brother has a Mark 8 Golf, a Life, and it bings and bongs and does all the classic stuff where the infotainment system's rubbish. It's rubbish. But actually, I have to say, this one, Apple CarPlay was a little bit ropey for the first couple of days with the wireless, but it seems to have been fine now. And other than that, it's slick, it works. I'll fire it up so you can have a...
Yeah, go for it.
To come up. Ida, so it's got the AI talk to you thing.
Yeah.
She's quite annoying, so I've turned her off because she sort of chimes in when you don't really want her to.
Yeah.
But I quite like, so on the screen here, you've got a live sat nav all the time.
Yeah, I'll just show it a little bit as well.
Which shows, it comes up with like...
backlit buttons are there now. You can actually see the temperature.
It comes up with traffic jams and stuff, so that's quite handy to have. I really love the middle rev counter, which obviously I know the 8 had, but I didn't have on the TCR. And actually, I really found that the shortcut buttons up here are really useful. So actually, when you turn your stop-start off, which I do regularly because I don't like that,
it's just a widget at the top.
Yeah, which is actually easier than the 7 because it's down by the gearbox, isn't it? So actually, I'm fiddling around.
Oh yeah, because the
gears in the way. So when I was trying to do that, that's 1+, I would say.
Oh, that's
and then these are quite good where you can configure your assist. So literally press assist and you can turn whatever you want off. Yeah. I was playing with it because actually you can set it to not beep until 5 miles an hour.
Ooh.
But it wouldn't, like when I turned it on and off again, I was hoping it would stay at that.
Yeah.
Because then I thought, I could just leave it on, but it defaults back to standard.
Okay.
But I have been kind of fiddling around with it, and there's probably still more stuff that
there's probably more to learn and more that can be helped out with as well. And actually, you know, that's part of the community as well to get involved in the comments, actually, because there's things that there's shortcuts, there's stuff to do. Like I was learning from the previous, I have shown a video of a Moonstone Grey Mark 8.5 Facelift GTI Clubsport, and he was saying like stuff like it doesn't upshift automatically, can hold the gears, which is pretty cool. I'm fairly sure that wasn't on the Mark 8, fairly sure. And I'm sure that there's other settings and stuff to play around with. And even when I met up with the normal GTI owner, he was telling me about like the performance gauges. Although you don't get it on there, you can interchange it on there. I don't know if you've played around on
a little bit, but one thing actually, if anyone does know the answer to,
yeah,
because I don't, I've got my settings of long-term 224 miles, which I think is what it's done from new. But you know, on all the other ones, you turn the cruise control off and you had it down on the switch. It's not there. So I don't know if somebody knows, other than having it there, where it is, or if that's how it is now.
Okay.
But the other thing I really like is actually the adaptive cruise control.
Oh, yeah.
Which obviously same as 7.5 radar guided, etc. I've had no issues. It reads all the speed limits correct. I haven't hit it's reading it in German and all that. And it changes automatically. So if you're going down the motorway and you've got it fixed at 70 and then you go into one of those 50-mile-an-hour things, it reads at 50 and drops it to 50 automatically. So there is some really good tech on it.
Well, at the end, this is a hugely technological car. This is 2024 to the max, really. There's no getting away from that. And it's just clocked in my head. Physical buttons.
Yeah.
No haptic, which even the R still has haptic, which I'm curious to know how that's like. Was that a bit of a, because that's the same essentially.
Yes, that's been really no different to me. A heated steering wheel is nice. Never had one of those before. So, and I've not found these touch things too bad once you get used to them.
It's quite big actually to use, as you kind of just shown on camera. I've spent a decent amount of time actually with various different cars with it. It's responsive. It doesn't it's no lag. It's like having a latest generation computer.
Yeah, and I know that, you know, a lot of people prefer the 7.5 and that was a really good car. But if you think I sat in the new 1 Series and checked it out before I bought this, and they've dipped the quality of theirs from the previous one, and they've obviously got so everybody's gone the same. So actually, when you're comparing it to what's on the market currently, I think it's a pretty good system.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of like noise, because we've obviously had a lot of noise regulations and stuff. Now your TCR did have a crap of it.
Yeah,
so,
I do miss that.
And it was obviously, you know, I think you did, was it 42,000 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a good amount. This car's running in. There's more to change with the sound, and also if you check out my channel, you'll hear clips that I've shown with the Clubsport, with the sound, and also the Black Edition as well. Yeah, you haven't seen it yet, but you've got to see the Black Edition on the Auto Bar with the noise. It's incredible. I'll leave a link up here because it would have already been live.
Yeah, because I don't think it sounds quite as good as the TCR, but it is only 200 miles. It probably will change a little bit as it runs in. And as I say, I haven't done it hard or sport mode or anything yet. So, but it will do the emotion start. I have given that a little go.
Yeah, so it revs past 3K, isn't it?
It does 2.5, I think, or something, and you get a bit more of a burble.
So how do you set that? Is that like...
So you literally, I mean, if you want to film it from the back, you're welcome to, but you literally hold down the stop start, put your foot on the brake, and then it just does it.
Ah, cool. And if you didn't hold it down, it would just do your normal...
Yeah, if you just do your brake and push the button, it just does the normal.
Oh, nice. Well,
yeah,
I think that's nice. And you got 2 real exhaust pipes, which again, in a world, I mean, to be fair, if you said to me 3 years ago, I'd be sitting with you with a combustion engine car, no hybrid, no electric, you know, exhausts, you know, for the AAA, I probably would have said unlikely.
Yeah.
So it shows where, you know, the hype was EVs even more so, particularly now, than it is now. People are coming into realization. And actually the drive that I've got, which when this video will come out the day that I'm driving the CS, the Black Edition, and everything with Volkswagen. And I'm very much sort of thinking, I'm not too sure what it's going to be like, just in terms of like noise and just really getting it up in person, because you just don't know. How have you, I suppose just in terms of just quality, even just, I mean, I've just noticed now you've got like leather on the side of the seats. Seats feel super comfy.
Yeah, the seats, I mean, they're the same as the 8, I think, but compared to the TCR, I actually prefer them. I think they're really nice, all the kind of Alcantara-y and...
Your TCR had really nice seats as well.
So I do think these are really nice. I think the steering was a little bit chunkier and actually is quite nice as well. Top of the dash is nice. Door cards are probably the one thing I think lets it down a little bit to the 8. They're not to the 7. Sorry, they're not quite.
Get a bit of
but
Alcantara.
you get Alcantara in here, so.
Your TCR probably had one of the nicest. Obviously, I'm not. I don't want to say like any regrets, because you don't have regrets in life. You had it for 5 years. You really enjoyed it, and actually, the moment I looked at this car, I was like, no regrets.
It does look really good, doesn't it? It does look really good, I think.
Yeah. If only. I hope it conveys okay on camera with the walk around that I kind of showed. Ice blue metallic. Is it like a special premium paint?
No, I think it was only 6. I think it's cheaper than King's Red Metallic. I think it was just normal, because you can get it on the normal Golf as well. I think you can get it on the.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
mainstream
that's
colour.
surprising. And one thing that actually lets the R down a little bit is lacquer colours.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't offer some more
and
colours.
I'm going to speak to them again, because I spoke to the R product manager at Volkswagen, and I said to her why they didn't do the different colours, and she was just like, well, it differentiates it a little bit from the R, and actually, fair play to Volkswagen for even making these cars. To even get the business case to get the black edition, they had to really push for it. To even bring out a Clubsport or a GTI, I mean, there's not many hot hatches actually for sale. For me, a hot hatch is generally front-wheel drive. This sort of power, well, not necessarily this sort of power, 200 horsepower or something above. There's not much to choose from.
No, and even this has got, I think, the wheels look really good, whereas you get so many aero wheels these days and all of that. So
there's loads of different stuff. The options are endless.
This I like. Pulses.
Yeah,
it's just pulse. It's just a little thing.
And you save a little bit of space in the dash as well with the smaller gear stick.
Yeah, which took a little bit getting used to, but now I'm used to it. It's kind of just second nature.
Yeah, you kind of get up to speed with it. Oh man, this is just amazing. I love the little bears that you got with Volkswagen, and yeah, it's special. I suppose trying to think of other parts. Is there anything that sort of like stood out for you at the moment? 'Cause I guess that's the hard thing when you get into Volkswagen Golfs, whether they're Rs, GTIs, TCRs, particularly from the 7 and upwards. They're at such a high level for me. You're talking really small changes. Even if this car was exactly the same in terms of your previous TCR, just with updated tech, that's actually a pretty good change just in itself. Let alone the driving and everything. Yeah. Oh man. Would you were you sort of set on obviously controversial not having the red bar? I think I was a little bit surprised. I was sort of like when they introduced that, because I looked at it and I was like, is that an R? Is that like a GTI? Is that not?
And I thought, having seen the first videos of it, I thought, all that sacrilege, you can't not have the red bar. And if I were, as I said, if I were to just spec one, I'd have probably gone King's Red with the new wheels, and had the red bar.
Yeah.
And then thought, oh, maybe I can afford an Akrapovic, because that saved me 1,200 quid there.
Yeah.
But actually, I think with the blue, it just gives it a little bit of stealthy look, and it would probably look a bit too much. So it will split opinion, but I think it will be quite rare to see, because I don't think many people would choose it. I think a lot of people go classic with the red, so it'll probably be quite rare with the black.
I think you're right, and I think it works as well. And I love the Clubsport, the front end. I think that's really, really beefed up. It looks like it's just proper deep. It's not cheapy stuff.
No,
it feels premium. It's the sort of things you can go up to and touch, and you're like, oh well, actually, that's a premium looking car. And it's just so nice to see a car that's not like a EV or a hybrid. And I don't know what are we gonna have in the future. Like literally, I think of like today as I'm filming this, the only other car that I think kind of is in this kind of ballpark, they still make the Civic Type R, don't they? The FL5, which I have driven, which is great. A little bit more money than this, actually, that car.
Really good seats though in those.
And it's a manual gearbox as well. There's a lot going for that car. And then you've got, see, I love the Focus ST. I'm a big fan of that, actually, to be fair. Like the track pack, 280 horsepower, front wheel drive. They don't make Hyundai i30Ns anymore. They don't make the i20Ns. They make the
ST is a nice car, and I do like the blue of the special edition ones. I did look at an orange one before I bought the TCR, actually.
Oh, really?
In
Yeah.
fact, I think I did test drive one and then went for the Golf instead.
They're definitely good cars. They've got the driving sort of element going for it. And the one thing I wanted to touch on is I think this car is really, really serious. And this is a me personal thing. I was a bit disappointed that the performance tyres aren't available in the UK. This is just a me thing. Because on the Focus ST Track Pack, which I've driven a lot, they come with Pirelli P0 Corsas, which are proper, like they're basically like Cup 2s. They're very much a slick road tyre. And I drove it, honestly, it made such a difference. Like tyres are just really, really important. And that's just a me thing. I think as an option, I think it should be there because I think it would bring out even more potential out of
and
the
some
car.
of the stuff I don't understand with the R. I get that it's 3 colours, but they're all going down the same production line. The paints are already in the building. What difference does it make if you can offer it in a yellow or a matte or a mix it up a little bit?
Well, they've teased a matte grey on their Instagram,
which does look really good, I think.
And I wonder if they will. I'm gonna ask on Thursday and take it from there. But obviously I appreciate you're only 3 weeks into your ownership of this, so it's early days. I suppose like things that people might not know. What's stuff like turning circle and things like that? Because obviously you've got a different. It's really sophisticated front end, isn't it? They've really sort of beefed up a lot of stuff with the Clubsport over a GTI and the EDIF as well, electronic
with the front
to drag
diff.
things around. How is that in terms of just like, I suppose, a comparison to your TCR? Because the TCR touring car racing is what it was kind of designed for. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell where I've not pushed it that much, but it does feel pretty good. I actually think the gearbox is maybe a little bit slicker.
Oh, nice.
Just having, when I test drove, even just the standard GTI 8.5, actually I do think the gearbox is a little bit slicker. The only thing is, from cold, every time I pull out my road, it just seems to lurch a little bit. It seems to be a little bit weird when you... But other than that, I do think the gearbox is a little bit slicker. Steering does feel good. The brakes, actually, the TCR brakes are really sharp. Like, they were sharp at the top. These ones feel a little bit more progressive, which I actually prefer. They don't take your face off as soon as you tap them. You have to push it a bit harder, which is a bit nicer to drive with. So
and these are bigger discs, I think, as well. From what I've seen, I think they've increased it.
Slightly bigger. I'm not sure actually.
They certainly look big. They look like they feel the wheel with the drilled part of it. Yeah, certainly like the steering, the suspension, the braking. This is where kind of the Clubsport shines quite a lot. I suppose I'm just trying to think. When would you, if for people, a lot of people on my channel actually have 7.5s as well, and a lot of Mark 7s, and would you say the step up is worth it, or would you still say it just depends? It just depends if what comes along. I know it's very subjective.
Yeah, it is subjective. It probably does depend what you want and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I do think it actually looks really good, and I know that's subject to opinion, but I do think it looks better than the TCR. I think you can tell where the 7.5 has aged a little bit.
This looks like a 2024 car.
I think some of the tech on here is really good where it's made advancements, but the quality of the 7.5, the way it drives, the fact that you don't have bings and bongs,
which you can't get away with in any car in 2024,
isn't it? So
I absolutely love these seats, by the way. I spent a bit of time in the normal GTI's one, and that's a huge highlight. And it's a Golf. It does everything. It's practical. It works, and it's one of my videos which is on the channel. This at night, the way you can change the ambient lighting and stuff like that. And I think you can have it in like auto as well, can't you? So it goes like purple, red, blue. Little things like that can make a big difference in a car. For enthusiasts, or even just for normal people looking for a car, I don't see another combustion engine, just fully combustion engine, hot hatch. There's a Golf R there. I keep checking some amazing cars.
Golf R that went past,
we were checking them out, the 7.5s. I don't see there being. I mean, I love to be proved wrong.
Like, I think part of me that made me think about buying this as well is we're almost 2025, so either in 5 years' time the R and the GTI, as they are, will be dead. Well, they will be dead.
Yeah, I think so.
And they'll either be killed off and made immediately electric, or they'll put a hybrid of something, batteries in it to get around the regulations to extend it out for a bit longer. But as it is going to be a dying car, isn't it? So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. That's where we're looking at. I'd like to be proved wrong. I know it's again quite hard to tell because you spent quite a long time with your TCR. Weight wise, would you say they weigh about the same, or would you say this has got a bit more?
I went through the V5s comparing
the actual din weight, yeah.
because this has a little bit more power than the TCR.
TCR 290, 286.
Yeah, and this is it just under 300?
Yeah,
I think, if you like for like.
Although I mentioned to you outside, I would be very surprised if you dynoed once you've revved in. If you actually did a proper dyno on this, I reckon it's closer towards the 310, 320.
I don't know. We'll have to do a catch up.
Yeah,
we'll have to do another one after it's run in.
100%.
It felt a little bit heavier than the TCR and not quite as light on its feet as the TCR, but it could be because I've been driving it like a nanny at the moment, still running it in. So.
That's fair, and actually that's what I would kind of potentially expect a little bit, just because, well, look, all I just think is all the particulate filters and a lot of safety stuff that comes in. There's stuff hidden away which we don't even know, and even potentially things like your 19-inch wheels probably weigh more than the 18s of the TCR. I'm nitpicking here, but
yeah, I think when I looked at the actual stats, it was about 40 grams heavier or something.
Yeah.
So not massive,
but I mean, compared to the Mark 8.5R and the Black Edition, definitely lighter than that. Yeah. And having watched, which I hope you watch when it comes out tomorrow, which should already be on the channel, watching that car on the Autobahn, big thank you to that owner for sharing that with me. This 2-litre EA triple A engine shifts. It was pulling, and I mean, I'll ruin it. He did pretty much max speed in it. You know, it had the performance pack, so top speed is 167 miles an hour, which is just ridiculous for a humble Golf, which pulls and pulls and pulls. This being slightly lighter, and my theory that I think it's got. I just don't. I think it's got more power.
Yeah, you think VW did the trick they did with the 8, and it's got a bit more than they say.
I don't think they'd play around with the ECU to make it just purposely less. I have no idea until I drive the car, which I will be driving as I'm sharing this video actually. So that's just a pure superstition at this stage. But let's say even if it was down, the I don't know what, 50, 60 kilos lighter, probably at least, with that, by not having the torque vectoring 4Motion sort of 4-wheel drive. That makes a difference in the way a car accelerates and turns and handles, and more traditional hot hatch for me, for your hot hatch enthusiast. These are one of the last cars. If you want to get one, you got to get a normal standard GTI, which actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about as well. They've obviously have upped the power in the GTI officially to 265, which is pretty close now to this. And I drove that and I felt it was plenty quick enough.
Yeah.
Do you think if were you ever considering a standard GTI, or was it literally you saw this car in the showroom and that was when you were sort of thinking?
No, I wouldn't have a standard GTI because I don't like the plastic black.
Oh, okay.
Like, I prefer the gloss.
So do you mean the plastic around the side?
Yeah, you know, all the where it's all black. I just like the gloss so much, and I thought, well, actually, if I'm going to change the TCR, it's got to be a step up. So like the bigger spoiler that goes with it. And it's controversial, I know, but I don't like the tartan seats.
Oh, yeah. My last owner was like, I would love the tartan seats. So it's all for it's each for their own. Yeah.
So, no, the power up is, but the only thing that makes me wonder is because obviously the Golf can shove some power to the rear wheels. Is there a max that the front will handle? Will it not take more than, say, maybe 310 brake horsepower, which is why the Golf R can get more power in this car? I don't know. You can ask the press team.
No, I will do. And actually, that's a good point. Whenever I think power-wise, for me, it's less important. It's more about the suspension and the brakes. With a front-wheel drive car, once you're getting towards 300, that's really it. Particularly, I mean, we're in the UK, it rains all the time as well. It's very hard to put the power down. And you add on more power, you're just going to be lifting off unless you're sort of not traction limited and you're really up to speed. But the good point about the wing is if you wanted to get like a Golf R or something like that, you pay for the wing essentially. You pay for it as part of a pack, or you get it as standard as Black Edition. Every Clubsport has it. So it's like actually you're getting quite a nice little bit sort of thrown in, color coded and everything. It looked mean.
Yeah.
It looked like a proper OEM serious part of the car, and it flowed, again, subjective, really nicely.
But I do really like the wing of it. But be interesting to see. I don't think I've seen any videos where they have raced the R and the GTI alongside each other in gear. I don't even think I've seen a car wow one or anything, which you'd be interested to know, wouldn't it, in gear, what the difference would be.
I'll have to see if
anyone can find one.
Yeah, or if I'm hoping. Obviously, I do have a relationship with VWK's press team. I will speak to them. I'll try and do what I can on the channel and to share it with you. And actually, a big part of what I'm doing is that a lot of manufacturers are obviously getting swayed by legislation. They're getting swayed by environmental laws and all this kind of stuff. And I feel the community of people who love the GTI, love the Rs, love the hot hatches, is kind of being lost a bit. And that's why I try and do this channel. You know, I try to have chats with owners. I try to share content, get involved in the comments, because we can help each other out. You know, there have been questions that I've asked Volkswagen, and they don't know. They don't know where things are at. And yeah, I'm grateful to have yourself, and known you for the last couple of years as well, from the TCR days too. Is there anything to ask the audience, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that you would like to know that maybe someone does know, because that about this car, or something that you're like, oh, I wonder if it can do that. I know I'm putting you on the spot a bit.
The only thing actually, apart from the mileage, as we said earlier, is I've got it set off the moment. You know, it can make tapping sounds when you tap on the climates and stuff like that. If I turn the volume of the radio up, that turns up, but I don't want it to turn up. And I don't know if there's a setting somewhere in there where you can make it lower without it turning up. Because if you turn the volume up on the radio, the tapping turns up, and I hate it.
So it's like
so I've just turned it off. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's quite useful because then you know you've tapped the buttons. So if anybody knows if you can do that, let me know.
Okay, that's interesting. And actually, to be fair, I'd love to get, and Volkswagen will have to help me out with this one, a bit more time, basically like a week with the car, just literally just playing with this infotainment even more, so I can more help people out on the spot as well.
Yeah, because I've still been learning stuff in the 3 weeks I've had it. Each time I have a play, and can I find that? And it's got stuff like it's got the keyless entry, but actually you can walk away and it will just lock, or you can walk up to it and it will just lock, which is really cool. But I only found that out by playing in the system and seeing that it's an option you can have. So
no, that is pretty handy. Is there anything that you'd recommend to people watching who are looking at a club sport compared to I mean, I know it's a subjective question.
Subjective question.
Like, if there's particularly, I suppose, for those who might have lost a little bit of faith, a little bit in Volkswagen, because I do get comments. You know, I read all of my comments, and a lot of them positive. Everyone's sort of happy, and that's generally the vibe of my channel. You do get some of, like, the Mark 8 affected people wanting to then get back into the VW brand, get into GTIs, and it was a bit of this is a premium car. You know, it's 40,000+ pounds, and if someone looks at a Mark 8 and has gone, well, that infotainment really caused me some serious issues, and you know, the quality wasn't quite there. For those people, is this enough?
I do get what you mean, because I was actually thinking, the brand has lost its way, and the 8 was not what it needed to be, and it's not perfect, but actually so far everything's been good. The infotainment's been good. You know, I'd read stories on the new Tiguan having issues with the infotainment system, which is obviously the same system, and I'm thinking, is this going to be a bit dodgy? But no, I think it definitely is a step in the right direction. So
okay, so yeah, from those and people, and also, you know, check out future videos on my channel. I'll share this as much as you can. I think actually waiting lists for these are quite long. Actually, I keep getting comments from people saying, "Oh, I'm collecting my Clubsport in like February."
Yeah, I think it's about 3 to 4 months, isn't it?
Yes, you're just sort of like, oh, it's like, about 3 to 4 months. I got mine 3 to 4 weeks
days,
before Volkswagen got them on the press fleet. They're always. I had a laugh last time when I went to Vista for a Volkswagen day. I went with a subscriber, actually, had a GTI, and they were like, how did you have one? Like, they just couldn't understand.
Yeah, how they were out so
He got
quick.
his on the 1st of August.
Yeah.
And
because 24 plates of them is rare, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because they're really early.
really, really early. So we're sort of like sneaking in here.
I tell you what I don't know actually, which you can't work out on the configurator at home. It'd have to be working out in a dealer. Is if you have the performance pack, you get the Akrapovic and you get the Estral wheels.
Oh yeah.
Which is about, I think it's 3,200 or something. So these are the
Varmanor, yeah,
wheels. But I don't know if you spec'd the performance pack, whether you only have to pay the difference of about 400 or whether you have to pay the whole price on top. Because actually then I think it doesn't actually make the Akrapovic that expensive if you're not paying so much difference. So something to bear in mind.
That's a really good point, a really, really good point. And I actually tried to check the configurator in the last couple of days, but it doesn't look like you can order stuff.
No, it's gone a bit weird, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I did look at it as well.
We're doing the same thing, so you can't do that. On the Akrapovic, this is a great story actually. When you got your TCR, you actually got it technically thrown in.
I did get it thrown in.
Like a $3,500 exhaust. Explain how that got out.
So I ordered the car. Well, I think the car was ordered base. It was a standard spec apart from the paint. And then halfway through playing the configurator, when I was waiting for it to arrive, I noticed that the Akrapovic had been put on the configurator. And emailed Volkswagen and said, "Oh, well, the price doesn't seem to have changed. What's going on?" And they don't know that much on the end of the chat, but they were like, "Oh no, it's just changed the spec." And then obviously the price rocketed up $3,000.
Yeah.
Obviously mine was already done, so then we were just waiting for when it turned up and was like, "Oh, has it got it fitted?" And yes, it did. So
I mean, and that's pretty special. So basically all TCRs had a Akrapovic. Is that the idea? From a certain year?
I think it's about September or August 2019 onwards.
You must have had a very early TCR then as well.
I can't remember when they came out. It was early-ish. It was September 2019.
Yeah.
I can't remember when they came out. Was it June maybe?
Yeah, they were around about then before they started knocking about. So yeah, a free, if you're gonna get something thrown in,
that was
a locked in
freebie.
price, get that locked in. This doesn't have it, and that's something people may consider. One thing that I can say, comparing particularly the TCR's Akrapovic to the stand exhaust, because I did it back to back, which was on my channel in the description from previous videos. The standard exhaust sounded really good as well. Like, it wasn't like oh wow, you're really letting out. I kind of, the look of a titanium Akrapovic exhaust, something that you spec on a Lamborghini Urus for like $5,000, is pretty cool to have on your humble hot hatch. But I don't think it's a deal breaker. But you're quite right. If you go for the performance pack, which includes the Akrapovic, includes the wheels, which, it's in. What else does it include? DCC probably.
I don't know if I think it increases the top speed.
Top speed 167, which this car can do, and my channel will prove that. It 100% can do that. I feel we can talk for
forever,
ever and ever. But yeah, I mean, definitely have to catch up again once you got up to
once
speed.
It's had a run in, and also after you've driven yours and see how you find them.
Yeah, I'm hoping to. I've got the chance on Thursday to try all of them, which is great, and I'll catch up with Volkswagen to try them further, and subscribers and stuff as well in the future too. So I'm intrigued. Really, really excited actually that they kind of still make them. I might do that sort of like cold start or something like that, so you'll see that. But yeah, get involved in the comments of what your kind of thoughts are on the Clubsport, and I hope you've enjoyed this ownership chat. And yeah, anything else from your side? I know there's probably something I've forgotten, because I was thinking about this as I was coming up. I was like, what would people want to know? Because it's such an early car, and yeah, I'm in the privileged position, and you got it. I mean, you might have literally got the first ever one, because of course you met up with Andrew from Volkswagen Wizard as well.
Yeah.
And when I saw you say it, I was just like, oh my god! It's just yeah. You literally had probably
one of the first. Yeah.
Certainly in the UK. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see how you get on with this, and I'm glad I can kind of gauge from your reaction that you're not disappointed about your TCR was like stunning.
Yeah.
This is like...
But this is equally in different ways, so...
Oh, definitely. Right, well, yeah, thanks for watching Ownership Chat. Check out future videos on the channel, and thanks so much for sharing this awesome car.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. Cheers, guys.
So I've just been out in a passenger sort of ride in this car, and there's a couple of things to kind of add. The owner mentioned that the reversing camera isn't quite as good quality, which is interesting on the 8.5. Suspension-wise, with the 19-inch wheels without DCC, is actually, it's about the same as his TCR without DCC. It's a firm ride, I would say, but it's subjectively for the owner, I feel it's gone from a TCR to this, it's the same. So that's quite interesting. Also talking about the performance pack, which gives you, potentially gives you special mode if you have DCC, dynamic chassis control, whether or not that allows you to sort of have like, it'll hit the rev limiter. So I don't know if this allows that. So there's lots of unknowns about the car. But I have to say, on the little drive that we did, and actually as a passenger, yeah, I thought it was great. It felt serious. It felt like, yeah, a car that is going to enjoy for a very long time. And yeah, happy. Hope you enjoyed the owner's chat. And sorry if there's things that we just don't know, because simply it's just unknown at this kind of stage. And that's what the comments are kind of part of. I'm a really big enthusiast as well, as you probably can tell from my channel, and the owner is too. And literally, the configurator isn't even working now for us to check stuff. But yeah, final little like saying goodbye to the GTI TCR. And yeah, special car, absolutely stunning. Big thank you again to the owner, and I will let them go because they've taken up more than enough of their time to enjoy it. And yeah, any questions, get involved in the comments, and I look forward to sharing the drive in this car on the channel, and subscribe to be part of the community to help other people out. And yeah, thanks so much. Cheers, guys. Just seeing the Clubsport heading out now. Oh man, this Clubsport is awesome. Look how good it looks. Little reversing camera too. Oh, he's gonna go that way. Oh, it's so mega to see it. And yeah, such a cool car.